Today I want to talk about something called rumination. It's basically when your brain cannot stop thinking about something. It goes in loops. Common things that we might ruminate about are past conversations, things that we regret doing. Rumination is basically when we have something that happened to us in the past that we cannot stop thinking about. Like with most things that happen in our brain, even though it's not super helpful, it is protective. See, our brains are wired to solve problems. And when we can't figure out a problem, our brain goes in loops. This works for things in the outside world. For example, if I wanted to change the color of my wall, my brain can solve that pretty easily. Go to the store, get some paint, and paint it a different color. Now for internal problems, like some sort of emotional threat, for example, if we regret something or we feel shame or guilt about something, that is almost unsolvable. But our brain doesn't realize that. It tries to solve the insolvable by going in these rumination loops. Your brain tricks you into subconsciously feeling like overthinking gives you some level of control about a situation. And of course, this can be a trauma response. Again, our brains are problem-solving machines. So when our brain feels like there's something that really threatened our emotional state in the past, it's going to try to do anything in its power to remember that thing so that we don't run into that in the future. And some common ways that rumination becomes a trauma response is if we grew up in an environment where we had to walk on eggshells because our brain is so used to thinking our way out of issues. So if we had to anticipate like mood shifts or rejection or any sort of, again, emotional threat, what does our brain do? It spirals into figuring out how to avoid this. So then our brain learned that if I think enough, then I won't get hurt. So our brains get stuck in the future or the past because it feels like the threat is current. So through this ruminative process, again, by trying to avoid the danger, it actually releases a hormone called cortisol in our bodies, which is the stress hormone. And the more it does that, the more your body will feel like it's under threat. And the more your body feels like it's under threat, the more you'll start to ruminate. And so this vicious cycle happens where you ruminate, body feels threatened, releases hormones to make you feel more threatened to, again, avoid the danger. But by doing that, your brain instinctively ruminates, which then releases the hormones, which then makes you feel more under threat, which then makes you ruminate more, and the vicious cycle continues.